Okay, it's gessoed and the gesso is dry. Everything is back to whitish instead of having all this color, which isn't always bad, but I wanted to start with a fresh page. So I think what I want to try to do today is, I've had this stamp for about a month. It was like $1 or something, and I like the size of it. It's just a rose. And I'm going to use my gelatos and some water to make like drippy, kind of smeary roses in the background. Let me try and see if I can get this to lay a little bit more flat. It's not really wanting to cooperate. Get on there. Got it. Almost got my finger in there. That would have hurt. Okay, go with that. Let's see where we get with this. Alright, I want my little spritzer here, which is filled, believe it or not. And I want to use pink gelato. And I'm just going to scrub it right over this stamp, going everywhere. I don't know if this will work. I've never tried it before. I have seen other people do it online, but I'm a noob. So let's see what we get. I got another pink here. And I got some red and some white. Yeah, that's where the shadows are. Everyone cross your fingers that this looks cool. I'm going to spritz it over here so I don't get my page wet. Not really sure how many you're supposed to do, but I'll put one. Smushing it on there as best I can since my background is really kind of lumpy and bumpy. Ready? Oh, well that's just not cute at all. Let's try that again. Maybe we'll get a better one the next time. Might not have enough water. I just sprayed it in my own face. That's the way it's been going, what can I tell ya? Okay. Red, pink. Kind of blends a little bit on this stamp that are that way anyways. I might like it more. A bit of lighter pink. Aim it away from the face, spray. I'm hitting everything except for the stamp. It's kind of comical here. Okay. Let me see if I can make sure it presses. No, it's just not wanting to release there. I don't know why. So, gonna kind of zhuzh it all around and see if we get anything with another one. Man, what is it with that area? Let me get a baby wipe. Try that again. Ooh, that's kind of neat. I like the way that fills in like that. You can see where I missed some gesso. It sinks into the pages a little bit more where there isn't any. Not giving up. Let's try going over this again. Just kind of want some of that to go to pink because I forgot to. Yeah, me as well. That sure is pretty, isn't it? Look at that. You got nice little brush strokes in there. Gaps where the gesso didn't have full coverage, and just looks really neat. Okay, it's dry. And then to kind of seal in the gelato, because it will live with water or anything I put on top of it that's wet, the color will reactivate, and I want to kind of keep it as these blobby circles for some reason. But I just put a layer of Collage Podge over it. Okay, so next, anyone have any ideas how I wish I could hear them? Because I got nothing. Alright, I'll be right back after I figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, I sat here and I cut this out to see, and I don't like that. Oh, that went right into my water. You ever have one of those days? So what came to me was bubble wrap. Bubble wrap and gesso. So that's where I'll start. Because you never know where that could lead. Make sure I'm in camera, because otherwise what's the point? There we go. Depending on how this turns out, we may still be asking ourselves, so what was the point? I prayed that that wouldn't happen. Okay. This isn't terribly noticeable on this, but I think it'll help put some of these background blobs more into the background. I'll push it back. At least that's what I'm hoping. Come on, bubble wrap. Don't let me down. Maybe just a tad more, because I didn't put any on here. Which you don't really notice it, but whatever. That's good enough. The old Dawn Moore motto. That's good enough. Okay, once again, I'm going to dry this so that I can move on to the next step, which might involve black ink and a text stamp. Okay, that did not take too long to dry at all. Excuse me. Let me just ink this puppy right up. Probably not on there, would probably be a better idea to just squish it onto here. And I just kind of do little random spots of it, so it's not the whole stamp. See how that's a straight line? I'm not a big fan of that. But we're going to let that go, because it doesn't really matter that much. Just try to cover it over. See, and then I did it again. Durr. Okay. Probably that would be good. Will be the center of a flower, which is dwindling smaller and smaller. Okay, center of a flower. Flower petals. So I'm not going to torture you by sitting here and making you watch me cut out all the flower petals for this, because I think I want more than one flower. So I'm just going to turn it off, cut them all, and then I'll be right back, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so I have all my pieces cut. I got my stems, my petals, my flower center, my leaves. Everything is good to go. I'm grabbing some wax paper. Dropping everything. I want to put let me move my book out of the way for a minute. Okay, I have a puddle of gesso here. And what I want to do is take the petals and I'm just going to dip them in. Just like this. All the way around. And it makes a cool little white border on it. And I'm just going to drop them down onto my wax paper. Just like that. Decide to dry for an eternity because they're pretty thick. I'm just going to set it over here onto a stack of other stuff. Okay, and now onto my background once again. And I'm thinking about using some tissue paper on here. I think I will. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to tear this up. No rhyme or reason, just tearing it up into pieces. Here's my little scrapey thing. There it is. Oh, let's not glue my pages together, shall we? Okay, I'm going to dry this and I will be back. Okay, my background is dry. Not that it's going to do me a heck of a lot of good at the moment because my little flower pieces are still very, very wet. I'm letting them dry on their own. I'm afraid if I use the heat tool that they will just blow around and, well, that won't be cute. But when I finished putting the tissue paper on here, I had a little leftover gesso on my palette, so I just took a old credit card and scraped the leftovers and then kind of went over wherever it would go. And then I sprayed it with some re-inker that I mixed with water and put in a spray bottle in So Saffron. I think it's a Stampin' Up color. But I went over that, so if you see the little hint of yellow in there, that's what that's from. And there's the other side. But that's what I have, and I think that I also want to add some, maybe some around the edges in pink. And I have, I'll find it, Picked Raspberry Distress Ink, which I have to be careful of because these are water activated, water based, dye based, whatever, and when you get them wet again with anything, it will lift, or kind of could tint the rest of your whatever you put on top. So if that's not something you're looking for, maybe use like a StazOn or an archival ink pad, even a Sharpie marker around the edges. It's alcohol based, so water won't make it lift. Okay, I'm back, and it is the next day. I let all of my little petals and things dry overnight just to make sure they were nice and dry. And then I got my background here. I'm just gonna put these on with my Collage Page. And I think I want to have one over here. I'm just going to spread this everywhere in case it's not really sure where this flower is going to land. So it'll be ready. I think I see a cat hair in there, but it happens. Alright. Excuse me, I am going to dry all of this and clean up some of my mess, and then I'll be right back. Alright, it's dry. There might be some wetness in the underneath there somewhere, but for the most part it's dry. Now what I want to do is take my palette, and I'm going to mix some very dark purple paint, which I have right here. And I'm going to mix it with glazing medium. I think about equal parts, maybe a little more glaze. And I need a paintbrush, something to mix it with. Go with this one. This could be a complete mistake. Let's all hold our breath and cross our fingers and pray. Do not let it be a hot mess after, please. Maybe a little more glazing medium. Ooh, that's a lot of paint. I might have gotten a little carried away with that. Before I go and add that, though, I'm going to give my flower here a haircut where the petals are hanging off the edges. I think I've glued one to the other. Yeah, I can see glue gush out. That's not dry. Stay. Alright, we're going to go for it anyways. I'm just going to use this little brush that I have no idea where I got it. Okay. And I'm going to brush this over my entire page. I didn't see that coming either, honest. Alright, so it's on all sides. Okay, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe. I don't know if I'm supposed to wait or go in right away. I think I should have waited. Okay, I'm back. Everything is dry, and I think I'm going to doodle around these edges a little bit. I'll move this out of my way. And a pen. I think I'm going to go around with my big brush pen, which my nib is all tore up, so it's going to be an even fatter line, but that's okay. Okay, what else? I think my skinnier pen, and I need a piece of paper here. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit here. Okay, I'm just gonna go around all my edges. every there's a little piece of something on there. And I need to dry this before I flip it over so I don't get any over here, so I'll be right back. Okay, it's dry. It dries really fast, actually. Okay, so every flower that ever bloomed, dot, dot, dot. So where I left this space, I'm just going to kind of go over it with white. Every flower that ever bloomed had to go through a whole lot of dirt to get there. I can relate to that. Hopefully some of you can too. Appreciate you tuning in and watching today, and I hope I see you again next week. Have a great day.